Now, you know, weeks ago, E3 came up. Now, you know, we forgot to power on the sound there. So basically, all I was saying before that is that, you know, the NSA is collecting this data. Yeah, the NSA is collecting this data, and they're using the loopholes in the FISA courts to keep data that has been collected on U.S. persons inadvertently. You know, now I understand like I said, if they catch something inadvertently, it does have some terrorist information or something that triggers some alarms, or something has happened or been said in that they can see someone is going to be harmed or killed, or property is going to be defaced. Okay, then even though they collected the information inadvertently, but there's some crime about to be committed that they can stop. That's fine. But just inadvertent, innocent conversations is supposed to be destroyed. But the loopholes in the FISA courts has given the NSA the ability to keep this data for up to 5 years and use it. So we're going to have to see how this thing works out as time goes on. Now, as we were saying, as it relates to companies with technological advancements, the PlayStation 4, Sony's PlayStation 4, according to a rumor going around on Video Gamer 24/7, a publication online, as well as GameSpot.com, they all report that the PlayStation 4, according to Sony, Sony has said to be so confident that it can supply retail with PlayStation 4 consoles at launch that it advised GameStop to pre-sell as many PlayStations as they like. Now, retailers are generally awarded an allocation of stock spread across its outlets for the whole country, and take pre-orders up to the limit of that allocation. But according to a memo on game trailers and sources speaking with various video game magazine publications and stuff, major chain, GameStop and stuff like that, they were advised to ignore these limits this weekend. So when I went to pre-order the PlayStation 4, they told me they only had 36 pre-orders that they were able to take. 36. And when I pre-ordered, I was number 22. So they only had 14 more pre-orders that they could take, right? But according to this weekend, GameStop was advised by Sony to take as many pre-orders as they like. Now, the whispers also said that GameStop had previously been advised they would have access to up to 100 units per store, as opposed to 30 Xbox One units. The question of how many PlayStation 4 units will be available day one is quite an important one, as PlayStation 3, as we know, suffered seriously from shortages at launch. I'm talking there are some stores that only had like 6, some stores 8. They suffered from serious shortages at launch, and it released outside North America and Japan. The release outside North America and Japan was delayed because of system shortages. It is especially concerning given that Andrew House was warned that demand could potentially outstrip supply. That's the guy at Sony. The PlayStation 4 was not believed to have been finished until sometime between its February reveal and E3 of 2013. So it wasn't finished, the full design and hardware specs, until then. However, that's not to say Sony hadn't ramped up manufacturing of internal components well ahead of time. And the PlayStation 4, as you know, is going to be it's going to come out at the end of this year, in November. Now, here's the thing, the reason why I'm saying that this could be disastrous for Sony, because Sony is always trying to compete with Microsoft, and Microsoft is coming out with about 30 units per store. The the GameStop that I went to only had 6 pre-orders available. So, you know, that's and normally they'll have some pre-orders, and then they'll have some that they're going to sell off the shelf. So they take about 6, and then they'll get in 24 more. But see, the thing is, they're not sure how many they're going to get. That's why the pre-orders are normally so small initially right after a press conference. And then in the coming months, say like August, September, they'll find out much more. They'll have a better idea of how many units they're getting per store. So let's say they're going to get 30 units per store. They'll open up pre-orders again and probably take, if they're going to get 30, they'll probably take about 20 to 25 pre-orders and then save 5 for, just walkers, people who just walk in off the street, walk-ins and stuff like that. That's normally how they do it. But on the PlayStation side, PlayStation is saying, look, you can go ahead and pre-order as many PlayStations as you want. That's what they're telling retailers, GameStop particularly. And the reason why I think that is a big mistake is because systems companies never have enough hardware at launch. They never do. Now, this is something that I have always said is a mistake that companies need not make. In other words, you know when you're coming out to market. So you should have enough product on market, at launch, to supply the demands that consumers are going to have. That would cut down on people beating up people online, people rushing in. That would cut down on that because I'm guaranteed to get a PlayStation 4 somewhere. There's a reason why you don't really have to pre-order software. Anyone that's a gamer knows this. You don't have to pre-order software. When Destiny comes out, when the new Halo 5 comes out, when Titanfall comes out, Rise, all these different games for the new system, when they come out, I don't normally pre-order games. And you might say, well, some people will say they swear by pre-ordering games. They say, well, I gotta pre-order this because I want it. I'm guaranteeing, and I'm gonna say it right here on Tech Pulse right now, any game that you want, you're going to be able to get at launch, not necessarily at the same store, but somewhere. In other words, if I go to one Target and they ran out of a particular game, I can go to another Target. The game is there. I guarantee you, because I've done it. And I've been playing games for years now, and I have never had to pre-order any game ever. And I've always gotten every game when I wanted it, at launch or anytime like that. When a game came out, no matter how popular it was. Halo, one of the best-selling franchises in gaming history. The first day sales of Halo 4 were into the hundreds of millions of dollars. And there was no shortage. There was no shortage of Halo 4 that I was aware of. Anyone could get it anytime. So my point is, the hardware has never been able to keep up with software when it comes to systems at launch. And so Sony opening this thing up to unlimited, telling GameStop that they can accept unlimited pre-orders of the PlayStation 4. If I was GameStop, I know that the bigwigs, the suits at GameStop, they're saying take as many because they want that money. They want the money coming in. Just keep taking pre-orders. But I'm telling you, if you're a smart CEO, you would limit the amount of pre-orders. Forget about saying, well, we're losing money. When those systems come in, if you get $1 billion in at launch, people are going to buy them. People are going to be looking for it because not everyone is going to pre-order. So you're not going to have problems selling the system. Guaranteed. You're not going to have problems selling it. But to take pre-orders when Sony's history is to give you only a limited number of systems, I wouldn't play that game. And if I was GameStop, I wouldn't play that game either. Okay, you're telling me I could take as many as I want, and they were given that the instructions that they may be able to take up to 100 pre-orders per store. I wouldn't go beyond the initial 36. Maybe I might say 40 and cut it off until I get closer to that launch date. Get closer to the launch date, then the retailers will know exactly how many systems they're going to get at launch, because guaranteed PlayStation cannot ship unlimited systems. They can't do that because it has to be finite. So they don't have the ability to ship unlimited. Like they can ship 8 billion or just keep shipping it. They're going to have limits that they can ship. And stores are going to have limits to what they can stock. You see, so not everyone is going to get a PlayStation 4 at launch day. So, I mean, to pre-order, tell them they can pre-order as many as they want, and this could be hundreds. Could you imagine a GameStop having hundreds of because that's how many pre-orders they could potentially get if they're not careful. So if I was them, if I was GameStop, I would not in any way, shape, or form continue along that line of just accepting as many pre-orders as people want to walk in and give. No. I would put a limit on it until we get to about September, until late August, mid-September, that's October even. That's when these stores are going to have a better idea of how much systems they're going to get. But until then, we're going to have to see if this thing blows up in Sony's face, because that's what happened last time. In PlayStation, in the PlayStation 3, I'm talking, they had as little as 8 PlayStation 3s per store. 8.
That's how much you get.
And they had like 40 people online. And that's what caused all those riots. That's what caused people to be getting shot online, because, one guy was robbed point blank with other people in the line because he was first in line. The guy wanted that cash. I mean, that's what these things cause. So if I was Sony, if you are saying that you're going to do that, you better make sure you have the hardware to back it up. That hasn't been the history of Sony. So if they're saying it, if I was the manager or the bigwigs at GameStop, I would say, you know what, we're going to limit this thing to 40 until September, October, because guaranteed, if you get in 300 PlayStation 4s, you're going to sell them, because people are going to want it. So you don't have to worry about that. But worry about getting the pre-orders and don't have the product. Worry about that, because gamers, especially PlayStation 4 gamers, are different than Wii gamers. Wii gamers are a little more civil. They're a little more docile and stuff like that. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, those are not gamers you want to mess around with, because I've been on those launch lines, and I'm telling you, those guys are serious. You have to be hardcore to enter lines like that. Well, we're at the end of another Tech Pulse. We're not at the end. Yes. No, not according to my system here. Okay. That's reaching that 2-hour mark. I mean, Devin is like, man, you just got to keep going. But
I'm juiced.
We're pumped here on Tech Pulse. I mean, everyone is just
I just feel shortchanged.
Feel shortchanged, but if you feel shortchanged, come back tomorrow, because we're going to have another exciting. Remember, the old year is coming out tomorrow. I expect to get that call from GameStop today when I go home, because they normally call you to let you know your pre-order is coming out. I put that pre-order in. They're going to be calling me. Well, they're actually going to be texting my wife, but that's still me. You see what I'm saying? So we'll let you know. One and the same. We'll let you know what's happening with the OER tomorrow as it launches right here on Tech Pulse. So we want to thank everyone for joining us. Once again, this has been a chock full, top of the line, and tomorrow we're coming back with another Tech Pulse full of the same type of thing. So thanks for joining us. Go out and enjoy your day, because hey, you can't just have the day just go by without enjoying it. Go out and enjoy that day.